Traditional Vietnamese chicken pho. So we're gonna start by charring the onions and ginger in the oven. I have 1 pound of yellow onions unpeeled and cut in half, and I just put them this way for now. And here's a little chunk of ginger unpeeled as well. And we're just gonna stick it in the oven for maybe about 15 minutes on broil at about 350 degrees, and just rotate it every once in a while to make sure it gets charred evenly throughout each piece. And peel the ginger. See, it's all nice and charred, and you just take off all the charred stuff, charred skins, and use some sort of knife or some butter knife or something to remove the skin from the ginger. The ginger is soft right now.
Yes. An easy way to remove the skin off the ginger is to use a fruit peeler.
But don't cut yourself. Next, in a large stock pot, just fill it up with water and put it on the stove to boil. We're using hot water because it boils faster, but if you don't have hot water, that's okay. You can just put cold water in there and put it on the stove to boil. Okay, so I have 2 whole chickens because each one's only about 2 pounds. If you have a larger chicken, you can just use 1, but I have 2 whole chickens and I'm about to chop them up. Okay, I have now whacked the whole chicken into little chunks, and the more marrow you expose on the bones, the better it is for the flavor. Don't worry if it's kind of ugly, because it's just used for, most of it's just used for flavoring anyway. You want to make sure the breast meat is nice though, so you can use that to serve with the soup later. The water is now boiling and we're ready to put the chicken in. Don't worry if it's dirty, because right now we're not actually making the soup. We're just going to boil the chicken, and you'll see a lot of gross stuff rise to the top. We're going to boil it on high for 5 minutes and then dump out the water and put fresh water in. And here it goes. So here you see foam and fat and a whole lot of gross stuff. Just boil on high for 5 minutes so all of this gross stuff comes out and doesn't end up in your soup. Now that the water was drained out and I rinsed the chicken off a little bit, we're going to refill the pot with clean, cold water this time. The stock pot with the cold water and chicken is now back on the stove, and I've set it on high, and the chicken is gonna be boiling soon. Now here is my favorite part of any dish, and it's the spices. So for chicken pho, we have 2 teaspoons of whole cloves. This is 1 full tablespoon of coriander seeds. 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. I use the lighter one because it has a better flavor than the ones that are really dark. The particular brand I used is Squid. And then I have 6 star anise and about 1 ounce of yellow rock sugar and some cardamom pods, 3 of them. This is a little bunch of cilantro stems only. And here are the charred onions and ginger that we stuck in the oven earlier. I rubbed off all of the burnt stuff from the onions and the ginger. I peeled off the skins and sliced them. I'm just going to wait for this water to boil before I start adding these in. The water in the chicken pot is now boiling, so we're going to start by adding the onions back in. And the ginger. And then we're going to just add the remaining spices. That was the cardamom pods. And then here's the rock sugar, star of anise, whole cloves, a tablespoon of coriander seeds, and 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. Gonna stir it up in there. And let it boil for just a couple minutes and then turn it on to low to let it simmer. And now that everything's been boiling for a couple minutes, I'm going to turn it down to low and put the lid on. Leave a little gap so the steam can get out and just let it simmer. About 15 minutes has passed since I started simmering, and now I'm going to actually just dig through the pot and pick out the chicken pieces that I'm going to shred up to use for serving with the noodle soup later. I'm mostly going to pick out the breast meat and the chicken drumsticks. Smells good. Now that I fished out the few chunks of meat that I'm going to reserve for serving later, the rest is just going to continue to simmer for about maybe like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and once in a while you're just going to go through with a little skimmer and just skim the gross stuff off the top. I put a lid on my chicken reserve to keep it moist so it doesn't dry out. The soup has now boiled for about an hour and 45 minutes. And now you're just going to strain it through either a cheesecloth or some really fine strainer to get out all the solids. And then if there's any remaining fat on the top, you can keep it if you like, but if you don't, an easy way to get rid of it is to stick it in the fridge and let it harden up, and then you can just lift it right off. But other than that, season to taste with fish sauce and sugar if you like it sweeter, and garnish it with some bean sprouts, basil, or any of the other pho fixings that you like, which I'll list in the blog. And that's it.